The land of Kamasylvia, blessed by the Goddess Sylvia, named after the great tree Kamasylve. The elves are noble creatures, living in harmony with nature, gifted with long life and otherworldly beauty. But among them, a chosen few have even rarer gifts: the ability to commune, hear, and understand the language of the ancient spirits. Using the power and knowledge of the ancient spirits who returned to the arms of Mother Nature eons ago, these daughters defended Kamasylvia and thereby becoming natural leaders of all beings in the land. Before the invasion of the Black Spirits, 4 elves were born with special gifts. 3 of the princes were born from the beacon of the sun, and 1 princess was born from the frost of the moon, and all 4 of them were born under the most peculiar of skies. When the first princess, with the power of the sun, was born, a red moon glowed in the night sky. When the 4th princess, with the power of the sun, was born, it was daytime, yet it was dark as the day of a black sun. And by a great coincidence, the 2nd princess, with the power of the sun, and the 3rd princess, with the power of the moon, were born on the same day and time. On that day, the sun and the moon did not rise nor fall, but remained on the horizon. The light of the 2 celestial bodies did not disrupt each other and seemed to be in perfect harmony. Between the sun and the moon, shining stars embroidered the Milky Way, and it was the most peaceful sight that the world has ever seen in such a long time. The chosen elves were treated as princesses, and all grew up in Grandiha, the port in Grana, receiving education needed to become the next chiefs of the Ganels and Vidirs. And among the princesses, it can be easily observed that the 2nd and 3rd princess, Brolina Ornette and Viorencia Odore, shared special bonds, with the 2 usually being seen together and secretly sneaking out at night. This has been the most peaceful of times, but this all changed when the invasion came. The chief of Vidir, Josia Odore, burned their most holy tree, which caused the followers of the moon to gain animosity from the followers of the sun. And in one of the banquet held in Grana, in a seemingly peaceful night, the chiefs of both Ganels and Vidirs died. Both has been poisoned by the food made by Polly. Well, at least, that's what the first princess, Amelia Ornette, has said. Being the eldest among the princesses, Amelia declared herself as the queen of all elves, and hurriedly executed the spirit Polly for the crime of murder. As the first queen of all elves, she commanded to make a crown with the sign of the sun, but the Vidirs protested, as future Queen May came from the followers of the moon. Little did they know that such day will never come. Amelia, annoyed with the disagreement by the Vidirs, openly shown hostility, and the oppression against the followers of the moon has started. Deep in the forest, Amelia made a pledge.
I, Amelia Ornette, the descendant of the radiant sun and the benevolent mother, the 2nd protector of the sacred tree, the master of the glorious annals, and the most rightful successor of the divine throne of the Queen of Kamasylvia, stand here in the midst of the forest to declare, I shall have the wicked Vidirs, who dared to burn our mother's legacy and bruise the forest, pay for the sins they committed, no matter the cost. The archers, defenders of Grana, the temple of the sacred tree, the rangers, guards of the forest, the annals, my elite guards, and lastly, Krogdalo, the spirit of the forest, bear witness for this divine and steadfast vow.
This pledge by the Queen of Kamasylvia has deeply disappointed many, including Krogdalo, the father of all legendary dream horses, and made it leave the land for good. After several years, some Vidirs has reached their limit and left Kamasylvia. They no longer identified themselves as Vidirs and started calling themselves as Ahibs, the Burning Ones. They called on their fellow sisters to join them and end Amelia's tyranny. Cutting their ties with the queen is an act of treason, and thus the Ahibs has been branded as traitors by Grana. One Ahib in particular has gained notoriety among all elves. Odra the Great, a saint-rank Vidir, has joined the Burning Ones. She was one of the elves who is trying to revive the Kamasylve tree, but when she joined the Ahibs, she proposed to make a new sacred tree by grafting the branches of the Kamasylve tree. Amelia and her followers have heard about this heresy and spread the word that Odra needed the blood of the Ganals in order to make a new sacred tree. This further resulted to the oppression of the remaining Vidirs, while the Annals assassinated Odra. Throughout the years, the oppression continued, and many of the Vidirs joined the Ahibs. But some did not agree. The Dark Knight faction is one of them. Born under the light of the moon like all other Vidirs, the Dark Knights refused to be part of the Ahib and vowed to the old spirit, Rimitaronsum, that they will remain neutral and find their ways to revive the Kamasylve tree. But to do so, they need to get out from Ghana, away from the clutches of the Tyrant Queen. And so they asked the Tooth Fairies to clear a path for them out of the forest, and the Tooth Fairies complied. However, upon learning of the Dark Knight's exit from Kamasylvia with the help of the Tooth Fairies, Amelia has branded the fairies as traitors as well, and a massacre was done. The Annals were dispatched again, now towards the forest, and killed all the fairies that helped the Dark Knights escape. The other spirits and inhabitants of the forest, like the mighty Ronaros, can't do anything to help them, as they themselves gave the elves their blessings, and thus cannot hurt them no matter what they do. All they can do now is to run and hide. And thus, the unity between the sun and the moon has completely shattered to pieces. With the second and the third princess gone to a faraway land for an important mission, finding ways to revive the Kamasylve tree has completely put on hold. But when everyone's hope is lost, a beacon of light shines in the darkest of night. It all rests now to the hands of the youngest princess of the sun, Catherine Ornat, and though young and inexperienced, she herself has also went on a journey to revive their most important sacred